Bob Marley, the icon of reggae. This person is known in every corner of the world. Now we will tell you about the women who were with him throughout his incredible life. Well, Lucille Williams. Lucille and Bob were childhood acquaintances. They were friends from a young age, and their relationship eventually evolved into a romance. However, this love story was more adolescent than something serious, and eventually they drifted apart. Singer Rita Marley. They met in Jamaica in the mid-60s, when they were both aspiring musicians. The two were immediately drawn to each other. He was sending his letters through his friends, not by himself, through his friends, to say that he liked me and wanted to come over and talk. Rita told Rolling Stone in 1966. They got married. Rita had a daughter from a previous relationship, and Bob adopted her after the wedding. Then they had children together. Daughter said Ella, 1967. Son David, also known as Ziggy, 1968. And son Stephen, 1972. Rita was not only a devoted wife, but also an integral part of Bob Marley's band, The Wailers. She participated as a backing vocalist and helped shape the sound that made the Wailers famous. After Bob's death in 1981, she turned his house in Kingston into the Bob Marley Museum and Tuff Gong Studios. She is also the founder and chairperson of the Bob Marley Foundation. Although Rita remained Bob's wife until his death, other women were also present in his life. Model and jazz singer Cindy Breakspear. Cindy and Bob met in Kingston and dated for 6 years. In 1978, their son Damien was born. Damien began pursuing music at the young age of 13. In 1996, he released his debut album, Mr. Marley, on the family label Tuff Gong, co-produced by his brother Stephen Marley, and became the first reggae artist to win 2 Grammys at one ceremony. He also worked on several high-profile musical projects, including Mariah Carey's Cruise Control, Jay-Z's Bam, Bruno Mars' Liquor Store Blues, and Gwen Stefani's Now That You Got It. A filmmaker and actress Esther Anderson. Anderson, a young and talented Jamaican girl who helped Marley connect with his Jamaican identity and find his voice. She worked at the renowned label, Island Records, and became a well-known actress, especially in Britain, where she lived with the singer in the early 1970s. The name Esther is closely associated with Bob because she assisted him in his career. She deeply delved into the years of the reggae icons. Formation. The development of their relationship was more detailedly portrayed in the documentary film, Bob Marley, The Making of a Legend, released in 2011. Pat Williams. Pat Williams, the third woman with whom Bob had a child. These relationships occurred concurrently with Bob's relationship with Esther. Also in the early 1970s, unfortunately, little is known about her and their relationship. Their son Robert Nest Marley, born in 1972, always sought to stay in the shadows. Janet Hunt. Janet Hunt is another woman associated with Bob, about whom little is known, much like with Pat Williams. However, there is some connection between them. Janet and Bob's son, Rohan, was born a few months apart from Robert. Pat and Bob's son Janet guarded her life against the intrusive status of Bob's celebrity as a teenager. Rohan played football in college and later played professionally in the Canadian Football League for the Ottawa Rough Riders. Later in 2009, he founded the organic coffee farming company, Marley Coffee, and 2 years later, he launched the House of Marley line of audio products. Janet Bowen. As a result of a brief but intense romance between Janet and Bob, their daughter Karen Marley was born in 1973. Janet lived a life far from the Marley name and brand. She allowed Karen to grow up alongside her father and his other children in Jamaica. Lucy Pounder. These are yet another set of relationships of Bob, resulting in the birth of a child. The son of Lucy and Bob is Julian Marley. He was born in 1975, and Lucy raised him modestly. But Julian visited his father in Jamaica every year, and at the age of 17, he moved to the island to pursue his music career and embrace the family's faith. Julian became a musician, songwriter, and producer after losing his father and his daughter to cancer. He now dedicates his time to advocating for the use of medical marijuana for children and researching cannabis-based cancer treatments. Anita Belnavis. Anita Belnavis is a Jamaican table tennis champion. She was involved with Bob from 1975 to 1976. In 1976, their son Kymani Marley was born. Yvette Crichton. Yvette was one of Bob Marley's last romantic interests. Less than 3 weeks after Bob's death, Yvette gave birth to their daughter, Makeda Janesta Marley. Makeda Marley was a frequent visitor to Rita Marley's home in Jamaica and later became a beneficiary of the Marley estate. Kindly subscribe for more reggae content.